Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing great. The temperature is dropping and so is my self-esteem and my self-worth, but that is not why you're here. You're here to see me transform this $1 cardigan. Yes, I thrifted this for $1. It was made of wool, so it's a bit scratchy, but look at the detail. The pearl buttons are so cute and I saw potential in her, unlike in my ex-boyfriend, so I decided I'd transform her into something beautiful. So I marked a point to crop my sweater because we are still inside, the virus is still going, we are still quarantining, okay? So I'm wearing this around the house and I seam ripped off a button that was going to be in my way. She was in my business and she had to go. So I drew a straight line through my point that I marked earlier and I'm going to crop my cardigan and be freezing my kidneys off in the house because that is what I live for. So I cut off the excess fabric at the bottom, throw her in the trash. You are done with her, toxic. I'm kidding, keep it, we will use it later. And I seam ripped off the first button because hey, I needed a bit of openness in this relationship. I needed her to be honest, so I opened her up at the top, got rid of the excess thread, and now my top was beautiful. I just wanted that button to go. She was already leaving the building, I just helped her do so. So you can see those gaps between my buttons. I am going to add buttons to make this look like a cardigan that's actually closed. So I'm going to hand sew the buttons on. I just marked the midpoint and then sewed the button at that point. And I took my sweet time with this. This was so easy to do. I think 4 stitches like back and forth was enough to secure a button. So this literally took no time at all and it looked like a pretty cardigan at the end of it all. So this cardigan actually had stitching between the buttons so it can't open and I wanted it to stay like that. And then I turned it inside out and now we're going to lettuce hem our fingers off. So you're going to lettuce hem the bottom and you're also going to seam rip a button off the sleeve because we're also going to lettuce hem the sleeve. This is totally optional. If you don't want to do everything lettuce hem, it's totally up to you. So the lettuce hem is my boyfriend. I love the lettuce hem. She just makes everything look so pretty. So these are my settings for my zigzag stitch. I had a very small stitch length of 0.1 and a stitch width of 3 was fine. And now it's time to have your fingers fall off. Honestly, my fingers were contorting in different shapes and figures because you have to pull your fabric really tight. This is so important. You have to pull on that fabric like there's no tomorrow because honey, there will be no tomorrow for your fingers. They will fall off after this, but it will be so worth it. So all I'm doing to make this relationship work is I'm really pulling on the fabric and sewing my zigzag stitch along the bottom edge of my hem. And I did that all around the bottom edge, the sleeves, and after I was done, this was a beauty that came from that relationship. I really love this lettuce hem, and the smaller your stitch length is, the wavier your fabric will be. So under our lettuce hem, you can see there's the excess fabric that we folded over to create the lettuce hem. I'm just going to cut off all that excess fabric, and this really did take some time because of all the waviness. I had to make her understand that she had to leave the office. She'd lost the presidential election and she had to go. She just had to do the right thing. So I was here for a hot minute cutting off the excess fabric, and honestly this is just very time consuming because of how wavy it is. It's not difficult at all, and I'm sure you've noticed I used white thread for my lettuce hem. This was just a preference and me being trendy. The contrast stitch has been so trendy this year and I just thought why not, but you can use the same thread for your lettuce hem if you feel the need to do so. Honestly, you live your life, baby girl, because 2021 is about to come with all its problems and you need to have something that grounds you, and if lettuce hem does that for you, you go ahead and do that. So that's all the excess hem I had, and I did the same thing for the sleeves, and now it's time to re-sew on the buttons we seam ripped off and wronged them. Hopefully they forgive us and accept us back into their life. And once every button is sewn on and it's it fit in place, and like me in high school, you're basically done with your cardigan top. So with a few simple tweaks, we were able to turn this into something Brandy Melville would sell for $50 plus, because they just love to overprice everything. And we did this from a $1 cardigan. So good on us for making ourselves look like we have money. And I think the pearl buttons and the contrast stitching on this just elevates a cardigan into that next expensive level. We don't look like we're broke and sew our own clothes. We look like we actually buy overpriced stuff for a living. So I am here for it. So if you thought we were done with this video, honey, we've got something to do with the bottom. So you can see the bottom had no buttons, so they'd left the chat. They were non-existent. So I decided I'd make the back the front. We're making a tube top from this in case you're confused. So I just folded this and aligned the side seams. That way that back bit would be on the side. And I'm going to cut off excess fabric from that side. I needed to take away 12 inches. So I measured 6 inches since this is on a fold. Draw a straight line through my 6-inch mark. And then after I was satisfied with my straight line, I just cut off the excess fabric because she needed to be escorted out by security, and I was just helping them do that. She was toxic and had to leave. So now we're going to open up this piece, and you can see I had a lovely surprise of finding a pearl button inside. So I seam ripped that off and I saved it for another project. These buttons are so pretty, I wasn't going to waste them. So we're going to lettuce hem the top bit. You don't have to do this. You can just do a regular boring stitch, but I decided a lettuce hem would be a fun way to amp up a regular tube top. So just fold in your fabric once, make sure she's really obeying the law and she's staying home as she should be, and then really stretch the fabric and sew your zigzag stitch. And as I said, this really did take time because we have a really small stitch length. So be prepared to say goodbye to everyone you know, because by the time you finish this, you will be an old woman or man. You have been warned, so kindly do not sue me. If you will sue me, talk to my lawyers, but you have been told that you will be an old woman by the time this ends, okay? You'll be lettuce hemming until you're 100 years old because this just takes so much time. So once I was done and I'd grown into a beautiful old woman, this is the lettuce hem that took my life away. No, I'm kidding. It's so pretty. It's so worth it. I was ready to sacrifice my first child for this lettuce hem. So I am now folding this with a right side and side because we need to close this up for it to become a pretty closable tube top that goes around. So if you don't want this to wrap around your body, it's completely fine. You live your life. Let no one judge you for choosing not to have closed clothes. But I wanted mine to close. I am a hoe, but I'm not that kind of hoe, okay? So I just pinned that open edge together, and we're just going to sew along the pins to close everything up and have them in prison. Let them talk to a judge if they have a problem with your decision. And I just used my serger for this, and this is completely optional. I actually wished I'd used my sewing machine because the serger thread was white and it showed through after finishing my sewing. But hey, I was living my best life. I needed a bit of excitement, and the serger did that for me. So once I was done serging that open edge, you can see she looks pretty. She's now closed off. If you do use a sewing machine, use a zigzag stitch and you'll be good to go. And this is what she looks like on the outside. As you can see, the ends are joined together, and this is the top on. I love this top. I think the lettuce hem really does make this pop. By the way, make sure you cut off the excess fabric inside the lettuce hem at the top when you're done with the lettuce hem, just like we did with the first top. And this is what the back looks like. As you can see, the white thread is showing, but I did not care because if you're seeing this white thread, you need to stand 6 feet away from me and social distance, okay? It is not your business. So this is a before and after. I really love that we made 2 tops from this cardigan. Before, she had potential. She was just waiting for someone to discover her and believe in her, and I did exactly that. And now I have 2 brand new tops that I can wear around the house and be fabulous in front of my TV. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was super simple to do, and I hope you do try it because I guarantee you it is super easy to do. It will just take you a really long time, and you may have no friends after you're done with this, but let's face it, you don't have friends already, so that's not going to to be any different. So yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I hope to catch you in my next video. Until then, be safe and please wear a mask. It is not that hard to wear a mask if you're going outside. And if you don't want to wear a mask, just stay at home, baby. No one's going to judge you for that. Anyway, catch you soon. Bye.